So we are putting your room in with us.
All right, folks. Sorry about that. We dropped, ran out of battery power instantly on the camera. We're still here in Castro Valley. We'll be here for a little bit longer, about another half an hour. I'm going to straighten out the sign here. It keeps getting flipped by the wind. This is a anti-war rally that's been going on for 10 years here with our friend God with the flag and some of his friends. And apparently they just missed the anniversary. They had forgotten about it.
That's why the reefs are in such trouble. Because those are built by carbon, calcium carbonate.
And I'm just playing with my toys tonight because I got a little bit of free time on my hands. Wanted to get a broadcast in and let everybody know I was still out here. Haven't been doing many tweets or other things. I've been working on some side projects, like I said earlier. Occupy the Odyssey on Facebook and occupytheodyssey.weebly.com. It's a new project. Check it out. Make sure you go to the Facebook page and click like. War is corporate terrorism. And that is a fact. We've had a few people drive by and beep for peace. As you can tell, these signs are old. They've been around for a while. I'm kind of slow here in the intersection, but
It's a tremendous equilibrium. You know, I was talking about the oceans.
you mind if I join in here? The oceans?
We were talking about the climate, like what the real problem is with the climate that's happening, and that so the oceans have been absorbing heat, from fossil fuels burning for like decades now. And what happens is only a very small percent, like a very tiny rise in the sea level temperature changes the whole equilibrium of the ocean, and then the organisms that make calcium carbonate skeletons can't precipitate. They have a harder time getting the calcium out of the ocean water because the solubility is increased because of the higher temperature. And then they can't, so that disrupts the whole food chain of the ocean.
What is your background? How do you know about all that kind of stuff?
I'm a geologist.
A geologist?
I studied geology at Cal State Hayward.
Wow, so you're full of all kinds of credible information, I would think.
So yeah, I've been following this for a long time and saying that that the whole thing about the temperature rise is not just the rise, because their big complaint is that the rise, there's been rises before in the geologic past, which is true, but what you have to look at is the rate of the rise. See, the rates before took hundreds of years and thousands of years, and now we're seeing it in real time. We're seeing it in 1 year, 10 years, the differences in temperature, which is, as far as the geologic time scale, it's like blazing fast increases. So,
absolutely.
Because geologic time is so immense, and unless you really study geology, you don't have an understanding of that.
Thousands of years.
Yeah, millions.
Millions.
Whole mountain ranges have risen and had been eroded in a million years, only a million years. So when you have changes of the scale that we're seeing now, it's the kind of stuff, like I said, you used to see in 1,000 years happening in a year or two. The ice cap melting. So I'm thinking the oceans are. So where we really have the problem, I think, is on the food, the web, the food chain. That's where you really start worrying, because if that gets disrupted at the bottom,
it has been disrupted.
Yeah, it has been disrupted.
So we have a problem.
Right, we already have the problem, but I don't think it's too late. Because the people can adapt and organisms can adapt, but not if this curve is too steep. You got to start dropping the curve back down.
Right.
The changes of the climate, and like I say, I don't think we even know the ramifications of the ocean temperature rising yet, but I do know that there's a very delicate balance with the pH and the solubility of CO2 of this calcium. All right, so that's where I think, they're even having problems with the reefs because of that. Because the organisms that create the reefs are the ones that secrete calcium carbonate out of the water. They build their shells out of it,
and the reefs
they build
are dying.
the reef, and the reefs are dying because of that. So I think that portends, are kind of what we're going to see accelerating if we don't stop it.
Yeah, and people talk about slowing it down or changing over to other things, within a 10-year time and this and that. And if we don't do, in my opinion, take drastic measures to make changes, it's going to get worse quicker and quicker.
Yeah, it's accelerating.
Yes.
That's the other thing. It's not.
Well,
if you look at the CO2 curve, it's not like this, right? It's an asymptotic curve. It was like this, and now it's like this.
Okay.
See, so that's kind of. So we're at this really steep portion here.
Like the populus curve.
Yeah, it's like the Yeah, exactly. It's a geometric progression, is what it is. It's not a linear progression, and so, so that's why only in very short amount of time you're going to have vast increases in that. It's actually Al Gore was the one who mapped that CO2 curve.
Yeah, Al Gore.
Yeah, and he also I just ran across his book and he's got pictures of like areas of glaciers like from the 20s and now.
Yeah, it was in his movie.
He did that. Yeah, and it was in his movie, Inconvenient Truth. But it's amazing. I found the book and I was amazed. I'd never seen the book. So anyway, that was.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully there has been a dialogue, but it took like the hurricane. Hurricanes are supposed to be in the summer, right? They're not supposed to hit New York in October, right?
Yeah, that's
or November.
freakish.
November. Halloween night. That's when it hit.
Yeah.
Halloween night.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to hit. They're not supposed to be hurricanes in the mid latitudes in October, the end of October.
Right.
And there's been 2 of them now in the last 2 years.
I saw some potential evidence that was HARP related, how the storm was compounded and forced into a position.
Really?
Yes, really. If you look around on the internet, you'll find some information that says that HARP is being used to modify control of the weather, and in devastating situations like that, what would it do? It would displace the homeless. It would do a lot of things that it did in Katrina, and
Yeah, no, right. I mean, actually, I did hear that it wiped out like about. Apparently, the rat population in New York City was around 29 million. That's what someone said. The rat population.
Rats.
So apparently, it drowned, like, a large, like 90% of the rats perished.
well,
So that was the good news. Except the ones that survived. This is my uncle, who's from Queens, was telling me this.
the ones that survived are huge.
Yeah, that's what it's natural selection. The rats.
The ones that survived.
He said
they're like the size of
he
dogs.
said the ones
They
that
can swim,
survived
they
are
can do the backstroke.
He
they
said,
can do
yeah, the ones that learned to swim and survive are the big ones that are the size of cats.
Cat-sized rats.
Cat-sized rats, and that they're the ones who are going to breed now and create super rats.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, that's.
So
You'd have to get the
I
shotgun
shouldn't
out to
laugh,
stop a
but I
rat.
shouldn't laugh, but it also makes me laugh about the people who don't believe in evolution.
Right? Well,
So let's see. Global climate change is a theory, and so is evolution, and so is gravity.
right, yes, gravity's still a theory. We're having fun here in the corner of Redwood and Contra Costa Valley Boulevard, this anti-war rally.
This
One
is
of
not
the,
Contra Valley Boulevard. It's
No.
Castro Valley Boulevard.
It's Castro Valley.
Castro Valley Boulevard. My bad. I'm sorry, you were saying?
one of the 2 of the secret words are birth control. That's a really bad word, right? You're not supposed to breathe that word. And then the second word is population overpopulation and population control.
You know, I've had a lot of people talk about that lately, and even my mother says that we're overpopulated.
I mean, millions.
Friends
there
and family.
There are millions of people being born every day in this world. Millions. Like, I think it's something like, it's either
Millions.
500 million or 100 million people being born every single day. Now, in a lot
Only
of...
it's that many. Maybe
Well,
like 50 million though.
No,
Really?
it's in the hundreds.
Well, I
Now-
know
That's
I know
a
we're
lot.
adding 1 billion people like about every 10 years or something like that. So that
Well, we
Well,
went from 6
no,
to
I-
7 billion in my lifetime,
Yeah.
and I'm only 40.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know when we were at 5 billion, so
No, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, you know, Tom Hartman always talks about it.
Yeah.
How the doubling, you know.
Tom Hartman.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom Hartman always talks about it. He's a really you know, he's just like a well of information.
Yeah.
But
Very, very
no, I tell you, but you know, like you were saying, they won't discuss that at all.
No.
There's a couple other things that the public will not acknowledge, like the American people will not acknowledge under any circumstances. One of them is that the connection between, we were talking about global climate change,
Right.
the connection between people's lifestyles and climate change. They will not acknowledge that there's any connection between, you know, commuting 100 miles to work, going to malls every weekend, driving big cars, right? And the other thing I won't admit is that our elections are completely corrupted and crooked. We don't actually have elections.
Yeah.
That's the two things. And no matter, I've even tried to talk to the people about it. I think somehow Wall Street has convinced Americans that corporations care for us, right? And you look here, Chevron, Shell, Wells Fargo, Safeway.
Yeah, we're
surrounded.
we're in a
Friggin' surrounded.
fairly well-to-do part of the Bay Area here in San Francisco. Across the street, there's a Chase, a gas station, another gas station. Oh, a Wells Fargo. Another Wells Fargo branch building right there. I mean, this is a fairly well-to-do area, I think.
But people will
And a
not.
Safeway.
Yeah, people won't admit that they think like corporations are the way it is, and that everything that they create jobs, they care for us, and in fact,
They don't create jobs and care for us. They're always doing the bean counting thing. Where can I make cuts? You know, to make a bigger profit.
Look at what Wells did. I mean, Wells is like, I mean, that's a criminal organization right there.
Absolutely.
You know, Chevron and Shell. I mean, they've killed all these native people developing oil resources, and they are involved with writing our legislation. They run our military, as far as I'm concerned. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have gone into Iraq and maybe not even Afghanistan. That was all about oil. That's what we've been out here for 10 years talking about.
Absolutely.
Oh, we need a sign pointing
facing that way so they can
Wow.
see. We have people notifying us we need to have more signs out here. Maybe next time they can bring a sign and join us.
I love it.
That's just my opinion.
No, you know what? That's just actually we a lot of the people who have been here that have joined us like in the last 10 years have seen us just standing here, and they've come here and they've come here to they've gone by. In fact, I think isn't that Tommy? Isn't that how you found us? Tommy, I think, was just Claudette. I still remember the day she drove up, like 5 or 6 years ago.
How many people you usually have here?
It's, you know, we actually usually only have a few, like 3 to 5.
3 to 5?
But
That's dedication
it
there.
depends. However, this is a very well-known coroner, so like when we've had events out here with as many as 75 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. For some during elections we tend to get high numbers.
Okay.
There was actually, when the teachers used the corner, the teachers came out when they were doing these budget cuts, and they actually occupied all four corners.
Wow.
Yeah, and also when they were fighting over Prop 8, which is the gay marriage proposition, back in 2008.
With my name.
2008. Yeah, we had people on all four corners. So, yeah, there's been. I've organized some pretty big events out here.
Great.
Prosecuted or
They had the Minute Clan, the Minutemen. Minutemen, which are kind of a racist anti-immigration group.
Okay.
And we mobilized against them out here.
Wow.
So they were on that corner. They were on the Wells Fargo corner, which actually was world saving. And
I am a comedian.
and then we called, like within 24 hours, I got about 50 people out here.
Wow.
From the community.
Got them off that
yeah,
corner.
we kicked their butts out actually. we kicked their butts out, and actually we had a group. I still remember there was like, I don't know, 40 or 50 of us and maybe 25 of them on the other corner. And then all of a sudden, here comes this huge marching band coming up the street from BART to join us.
Oh, wow.
Totally blew them away.
That's great.
We had actually one of the Alameda County supervisors out here one of his staffers from his office was out here, like kind of filming us to make sure there was no trouble.
Right.
So anyway, so that was a big event we had.
Well, that's why I show up for filming, to make sure there's no trouble. And if there is, I'm going to catch it on film. Generally, I like to catch the police doing stupid shit on film.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah, I filmed something the other day. Police officer bashed one of our occupants up in San Francisco, bashed his head into the ground for littering. He went to arrest him and he ran from him and knocked him down on the ground, and there were two officers standing on him. And the one officer told him to keep his head down, and he was resisting and smacked him in the head, bounced his head off the concrete, and then later on they broke his arm.
Oh no.
Or maybe it was during the arrest
Dude,
that they broke his arm.
we need people like you, man.
Oh, thanks.
No, actually, I really appreciate your.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate your doing that and also coming out here, because we feel like we're the you don't see a lot of stuff on the news, so we are the news.
Absolutely.
We're taking the place of, we're like the people's news, the neighborhood news, stuff. There isn't any news, really.
No, I mean, well, most people, you talk to people about watching the news, and they know it's a joke. So where do they get their news? Facebook, Twitter, or word of mouth?
There's nothing local. It's like it doesn't, like out here in the suburbs, it doesn't affect people. People don't even know there's a wars going on, for God's sake, in the country. They don't
know there's a war going on out here?
No, I mean, we feel like, well, you don't see it in the paper. It's not on. The only time you ever hear anything about the war in Afghanistan is when, either we kill some alleged terrorists or they do some huge suicide bomb, and kill a bunch of people.
And those are probably CIA sponsored.
I don't doubt anything about what.
The only reason I said that is because I'm wearing the hat.
Yeah. So, I mean, and people out here in the burbs, they like, there's no connection, man. There's no connection with reality for some of these people. They pass through by this corner going to work, and they don't even know that what's happening right now, that we're spending $2 billion a week. We're spending $2 billion a week on our military in Afghanistan, and
Well, I thought for sure John was
and
coming, and I
these
brought
people are
him.
complaining we don't have money for the schools. We don't have money to fix the streets.
Well, they should
There's no
stop buying
connection.
bombs.
Well, there's no connection. There's no reality connection between.
Well, I think most of them, because there's no connection to the reality, I mean, it's, in my opinion, probably because they're too busy buying shit at the store and concerned about which iPhone color protector case that they're gonna buy, and how good their nail polish looks. I mean, a lot of these people are so out of touch with reality that the reality TV shows, that's reality for them, and you've got to be kidding me. I mean, you want to watch reality TV? Tune in to OccupySFTV.
Right here. That's the reality.
I love it. I'm sure the viewers love it too. I'm gonna do a quick time check and see
Yeah, I think it's gonna.
how close we are to getting out of here. We were gonna stay until 6:51, and hope you guys enjoyed the show. Gonna try to get out and broadcast as much as possible and continue to bring the public information from the public. I know that there's only a few people that watch, but if you could spread the word and let people know that there's other citizen journalists out there besides just Tim Pool and Punk Boy. Don't get me wrong, Punk Boy's a friend of mine. He's a good guy, a real good guy, and he's helped promote me, my station and stuff, but seems like people always like to watch the favorites. I will be bringing you information on Occupy the Odyssey, and you can check out the website, independencitizenmedia.weebly.com. Much appreciated. And right now we don't have a donation link up, but we will be getting one.
Money.
We will be
Look at
getting
me.
one.
I'm withering away. I'm starving. We need food and things. Electricity, technology, wheels, global wheels.
Yes.
No Fred Flintstone bullshit. I need food and pot. Oh, and a companion, preferably male, but you could be a cool chick with a good strap on, right? What is that? Independent citizen media at weebly.com. Right?
Yes.
I got it right.
OccupySFTV. Mama's getting it. And if you're not familiar with Mama,
I'm not getting it.
she's our local comedian. She is probably one of the best ones we have here at Occupy San Francisco. Mama, you got any more jokes for the viewers?
Yes, Obama won. Right? Sorry, people.
Yeah, but wouldn't it
You were
even been
supposed
a
to
bigger
vote for
joke?
anonymous. No, see, if Romney would have won, that would have
Anonymous.
sparked the revolution even faster.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, I would have voted for anonymous, but I didn't vote because I'm not politically correct at all.
And that's how you vote for anonymous. You
You
don't vote.
You vote for laws, not people. Let's get it right. Here in California, apparently people don't give a fuck if their food is genetically modified or not because they voted no on 37. What is wrrong with people? The world's all screwed up, people. Hey, but at least the civilized people in Colorado made recreational marijuana use legal.
And,
that's fantastic.
And in Washington.
And this, I figured they would have. And in the state of Washington, where they also let homos get married. Yay, Washington! Did Washington let the homos get married? We're gonna have to check that fact.
Huh.
I'm not politically correct at all. So what? Sue me. I hate everyone equally.
Well, that's fair. That's
wait,
fair.
What is it?
Oh, she's not done yet.
I'm not a racist. I just profile everyone and stereotype them. Hey, it's true if it's real. Like if it really happens, it's not profiling. Or wait, what is it? It's not a stereotype if it's true. There you go. I can't help it. No, I'm not even gonna go there. Sorry, I'm not gonna do any racist jokes just because the president. I was even gonna say, oh geez, I gotta stop people. I can't.
All right, so she is done.
I'm gonna bite my tongue before you get fired.
Oh, you can't get fired. You're working for free.
You can join
Remember?
us in Washington D.C. on January 21st for the inauguration.
What's that?
The inauguration.
Oh my God, she said it. We have another inauguration coming up. So we've got about 10 minutes left before we get out of here. And God, before we leave, is there anything you'd like to say to the people that have been watching tonight?
Yes, I do. Now that the elections are over, and you saw how the right-wing religious nuts were defeated, then you got to get back to Occupy now. You got to stay active. You got to get more active. You got to, if you can't get active, then you got to support Occupy. You've got to support Occupy because we are making a change.
Obama's gonna occupy the White House and paint it black.
That's all I got to say. Peace out.
Name it for his
All right.
reparations.
Thanks, God.
40 acres and a mule.
Thanks for inviting me. This has been quite educational talking to some of your friends that have been here and stopped by for a brief time since it's cold. It's too bad they had to leave early, but
We're gonna give him
it's been very informative.
15 years in office, 4 terms.
I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I want to thank you everybody for tuning in. Occupy One Liberty signing out from Castro Valley at Castro Valley Boulevard and Redwood Road. Peace.